Greetings, Bat Warriors. Greetings. Greg is back. So are you. Welcome to the Results Kill Excuses channel. This is where we talk about life, real AF. I just saw a sign on a short road trip that said, "Thankful for sober drivers." That touched my heart. Thankful for sober drivers. There was a lot of years that I was absolutely not a sober driver, but for the past 14 years, I have been 100% sober, in my right mind. And I'm grateful for that sobriety because that was the beginning of me changing my life, turning my life around. For some people, the alcohol isn't really the issue. There's something else going on. For some of you, you put the alcohol at the center of the issue. I gotta alcoholism. And it's just like what we really got. I believe this with all my heart, with all my mind, with all my soul, with all my strength. Is what we really got is unhealed trauma. That unhealed trauma. That's what we got. That's what we really got kicking. As I'm cruising through South Central Colorado, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. This is the place that makes my heart sing. There's the mountains up here literally pierce the sky, and they're all freshly covered in snow, and there's even some sand dunes that are covered in snow right there. And yet, days like today remind me of something that I incorporate each and every day. You want to know what that is? You want to know what the thing is that I start each and every day with? It's an attitude of gratitude. I start every day thinking about the things I'm grateful for. Just before I even really open up the eyes and get moving around, a couple things, 3 things, 5 things, 10 things that I'm grateful for. And then once I kind of get moving around, when I get into my journal, I'm starting off also reflecting on things that I'm grateful for. And beyond just saying I'm thankful for something, I really try and hold myself to the highest standard of living a life that when you were to observe me in my life, you're going to be like, dang, that dude is a guy with a lot of gratitude. He ain't just talking the talk, he's walking the walk. He's literally living a life. And you know where that starts, right? It's how I take care of myself. There's something to be said about the unhealed version of myself versus the healed version of myself. The unhealed version of myself, I used to self-abandon in order to make sure other people were happy. I would definitely self-sabotage, self-medicate. I was willing to not fully speak the truth. I was willing to compromise. But what I realized throughout the healing is that healing, emotional healing, healing the old shit from our past, mainly childhood, is one of the most difficult journeys, and I'm going to tell you why. If you've made it this far, stay tuned, listen in, lock in. Man, I wish you could see what I see. These mountains. It's nothing like Colorado Rockies. One of the most difficult parts about healing emotional wounds is, from the outside looking in, everything that it's going to take for you to heal your emotional wounds, other people around you that are unhealed are going to see what you're doing and call it selfish. And if you're somebody that has a past history and a pattern of being a people pleaser, when other people tell you you're being selfish, it's meant to insult you. It's meant to hurt you. It's meant to cause you harm. It's meant to get you to change how you are acting, maybe even what you're saying, which could be true. It's a way to brush you off, man. Get off of me. You're being selfish. How dare you not drink? How dare you not do this? How dare you put yourself first? That is selfish. And I will always say this because this is what I've experienced, is it's not selfish, it's self-interest. Having self-interest is not selfish. Self-care is not selfish. Self-love is not selfish. Putting yourself first is not selfish. However, when you put yourself first, by prioritizing what your needs are, prioritizing what matters to you, people on the outside are going to misunderstand you. And they will label you the things that make them feel uncomfortable. In a subconscious attempt at getting you to switch.
Okay, alert.
And a big reason for that, big reason for the reason why when you heal, it appears to be selfish to others, is because we have all been programmed in the negative that putting yourself first is being self-centered and egomaniac and egotistical. And I hadn't really talked about this in a while. When you are truly authentic to yourself, when you don't got no more masks, when you can just own your shit, that's a big part of it, right? Part of healing is owning your shit, being comfortable with all your mistakes, but also knowing and caring about yourself enough that if there's things you can change, you change. If you make a mistake, you own it. But something that keeps popping up for me is that throughout my healing, and really just throughout my life, I've always led with a lot of kindness, a lot of thoughtfulness. Something I've realized is that more times than not, people in general have taken that for granted. And a lot of times they'll take my kindness, my thoughtfulness, my generosity of considering them first, and they'll use it against me. And I'm just here to tell those of you that tune into this that if this is something that's happened to you, don't lose hope. Because in the midst of that, there is an opportunity for you to continue to grow, for you to change, to say, do you find yourself over-explaining to people that aren't trying to understand you? That's a pattern I've seen in my life. Constantly trying to over-explain myself. And it's like, why am I trying to over-explain myself? Or why do you try and over-explain yourself to people that are dead set on misunderstanding you? Because they don't want to see and hear what you have to say. Because what you stand for, what you represent, if you're on this healing journey, on this light path, guess what that means? That means that you are presenting to them, to other people, an opportunity to heal and grow as well. And it's weird how sometimes it gets interpreted as you're forcing them to heal and grow. And it's like, I know I can't change anybody. You can't change me. I can't change you. We all got to be willing to change ourselves. Total extreme ownership. And the reason why it's important to circle back every single day with an attitude of gratitude is that this world is going to want to tear you up, to chew you up, and to spit you out. And I do believe more and more and more that we really are in a situation of, this is like a battle, a war of light versus darkness, good versus evil, the truth versus lies. Probably that more than anything else. The truth versus lies, light versus darkness. And we all have both inside of us. There's no moral superiority that I'm talking about here. I don't come from a place of I'm better than anybody. It's not about being better. I'm just more transparent. I am more fluid. I am more authentic than most people. That doesn't make me better. But what that means is that my light is going to shine so bright that when I make some decisions that someone may see as putting myself as the priority, because at the end of the day, as a man, as a divorced man, as a father of teenage children, those of you men that are tuned in here, and those of you women that are tuned in, maybe you can hear me when I say this, is that most women, right, someone will probably show up for you in a time of need. That's not always true, because I believe in this certain timeline, everyone is going through something. So it really is self-rescue to the maximum. But what I know only from a man's perspective and from understanding the dynamic of women is that unless the woman is complete orphaned, if they have children, if they have grandchildren, if they have parents involved in their life, family members, extended, someone's going to show up for them. But it's not always the case for a man. Ain't nobody going to show up for me. And when I say that, it's not from a stance and a filter of being a victim. I am in no way, shape, or form a victim. This is, again, that truth, that clarity of saying that I try to put out this light, that I'm not a victim. But what I do know is that if I don't prioritize myself, and this really is for everybody that's going through the healing. And this is really where we are starting to separate ourselves, those of you men and women alike, those of you that are on this light path, on this healing journey. It's universally applicable to all of us that are on this path, because when you start to heal, when you start to grow, people take offense to it. And it's really one of the most difficult parts of the journey, of the spiritual awakening, is the seasons of separation, the seasons of singularity, because the truth is that you will, I promise you this. And if it's something that you just aren't ready for, or you just don't know that you can't do, well, there's no shame. But I can guarantee you that if you are hearing this message, and you're starting to reflect on your life, you're starting to reflect on your past, you're starting to reflect on what really causes you pain, what's hurt you, how can you empower yourself, how can you forgive and release and really be fluid, that you will not be able to do that with a lot of people that are not on that healing journey around you. You will be separated. And that separation a lot of times can feel like rejection. That separation a lot of times can feel like failure of relationships. And those are very painful things. And yet those that are on the healing path, on that spiritual awakening, you have to continue to pick yourself up and say, you know what? You're not a victim. You're also not alone if you're hearing this message. We can truly help to encourage one another, to lift up one another, to link shields, to really create strength. Knowing that the journey can be very isolating. Because what it truly does take is for you to get to the depths of yourself. And in order for that to really grab a hold, there can't be a lot of distractions. There can't be people that have no intentions or no desire to see you change. And for sure, they're just not ready to change yet. And I say yet, this is a part of the journey, is there's choice. You get choice. You get to choose whether or not you want to actually put in the effort to start healing yourself from the emotional wounds, to really start aligning yourself with your divine purpose. Or if you're like, nah, that's too much and I'm just going to tolerate what I got right now. This is good enough. I'm willing to just settle for what I got and that's it. And if that's your attitude, like, look, I ain't got really a whole lot more for you beyond that. It's like, it's all good here. There's not really a whole lot more that I can try and convince you of in terms of changing up. Because again, it's a choice. I'm not here to heal you. I'm not here to change you. All I'm here to do is to shine the light. To shine the light in your direction. And if the light that I shine in your direction awakens a part of you that says, whoa, maybe he's right. Maybe there is some things I should work on. Maybe I should start looking into this. I'm kind of at my end of doing things the way I've been doing it. Maybe changing some things would actually bring about something greater for my life. If you start to process those types of thoughts with a mixture of some doubt and some worry and some fear, that's all normal. Being fearful, having doubt, it's all normal. I have that shit every day. Every day. Every day that someone tells me I'm being selfish, every day someone chooses to misunderstand me, it brings about some residual of fear, doubt, rejection, abandonment, and I have to kind of remind myself, no. We don't have to keep learning this lesson. If someone chooses to misunderstand me or chooses to misunderstand you, can you make peace with that? Can you hold your peace? That is like the most powerful thing ever. And it's something that I am still mastering for sure. But I promise you, I am aware of it and I see myself more and more. It's enhanced. And there's anything that you put focus on, it will enhance. If there's a part of you that you're willing to see as a pattern, like I see the pattern, I see that I'm like, man, you're still over-explaining yourself. This person clearly doesn't want to understand you. Why are you trying to over-explain yourself to exhaustion? They don't want to understand you. Let them misunderstand you. But there's a part of me that when there's emotions and there's care and there's feelings and attachment, it's like I feel like I can convince people, but yet I am dead set on this fact. Two types of people. The person that wants to misunderstand you. And you need to hear the emphasis on wants. They want to misunderstand you. There is nothing you can say or do that's going to change their understanding of you, which is misunderstanding. Nothing you can say is going to change someone's opinion about you. And then the other type of person is someone that wants to understand you. You know what's beautiful about that connection? It's like you ain't got to say nothing. They got you. They see you. They see you. They feel you. They know you. It's like they know you. That's the difference. They know you. They're like, oh yeah, this is my type. I see their pure heart. I know their good intentions. I trust this person. They tell me the truth when I need to hear the truth. They challenge me when I need to be challenged. They encourage me when I can't even encourage myself. They pick me up when I'm down. And you ain't got to say nothing. That's what's so beautiful about that. You ain't got to say nothing. You ain't got to explain yourself to them. When you do, they're like, man, I love you so much. You're so awesome. But the other type, it's like round and round and round. This person does not give a fuck. Why do I keep explaining myself to someone that does not want to hear what I have to say? And that's the difficult part, because when you are going through growth and expansion and experiencing this healing, the hardest part is the separation that's going to happen between you and the people around you, people you care about, people you love. I'm going to be totally honest with you. Total transparency. Today's a pretty significant day here in this country, the US of A, even though this message is heard all around the world. And yet, me standing on my business, me staying true to myself, and sending love, right? I ain't got a lot of enemies. I ain't over here calling people names. But just my presence, just my healing can be very, very intimidating to a lot of people. People I know, people I care about. And because that can be very, very, very intimidating, there gets to be a time and a place where those people separate from you. And it's one of those things that I've heard, and it's one of those things that I've seen. If you want to know, and I just saw 111. If you want to know who's really got your back, stop reaching out. Stop calling. Stop checking in. And see who reaches out to you. You want to see who really fucking cares about you? If you stop maintaining and initiating contact, who reaches out to you? Because I already know people I'm talking to. I already know the type of people you are. You're people that are thoughtful, considerate, go above and beyond for others. That's always been my heart. I've always considered others. Even in my worst days, I've considered others to my own detriment. I've gone out of my way to go above and beyond, just pouring out everything until I had nothing left. And because I've inverted that on upside down, inside out, I've switched that entire paradigm where I'm no longer willing to just give, 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 and get nothing in return, it takes reciprocity. If I give, I don't expect to receive, but when I give unconditionally. But in a healthy relationship, one where there is respect, first and foremost, there will always be reciprocity. Look for those things. Look for reciprocity. You want to test a relationship you have in your life? There's your test. Stop initiating contact. See who notices. See who notices. See who reaches out. What you're going to realize is there's a lot of people that will literally stop communicating with you. It'll die. The connection will die. Because again, the connection was placated on whether or not you were going to keep it going. And the thing that I see most about this paradigm shift is that the old relationships, some very near, some just platonic, casual, what I know about the paradigm shift I'm going through is that many of the old, surfacey, non-mutual relationships are fading farther and farther and farther away. And what I also realize is that new relationships that are built on reciprocity, respect, love, alignment with this spiritual awakening, this healing journey, that those relationships are starting to move forth. And the two are contradictions in and of themselves. The people that are fading away, if there's still some contact, they're going to be offended by the people that are coming in because they feel threatened. And this happens every step of the way. You put healthy boundaries, you start communicating, you start changing up maybe bad habits, bad vices with new healthy habits. Healthy eating, just when you start to switch up, it's one of the first things that you're going to face is instantaneously people are going to find offense. As if somehow you needed their blessing, their permission to be different. And what's really important is that if you're going through these difficult seasons, these seasons where relationships are, the foundation of relationships is getting shaky, it's super, super important that you continue to stay centered on yourself, that you double down, quadruple down, 10x your spiritual practices, your journaling, your breath work, your time in nature, your meditation, your prayer, your fasting, your healing, your time in therapy, whatever it is that keeps your cup full to overflowing, you got to double, quadruple, 10x these things, these practices. Versus falling back into old patterns where you used to self-sabotage, where if someone mistreated you or someone insulted you or someone threatened to abandon you, I've experienced it all. I have experienced it all from all types, near and far. And there's no ill will. Mark my words on that. It is unconditional love for all the people that are a part of my process. And you need to be in that same mindset. That when there is separation, when there is a gap between you and someone that has has a long history. Make sure that you are doing it in love. You are sending love. And maybe you don't talk to them directly, but it's energetically. And a lot of times it's maintaining a spirit of forgiveness. That when someone insults you, when someone hurts you, when someone threatens you, when someone betrays you, when a situation is going awry, send that person love, send them healing, send them prosperity, but also send them forgiveness so that you don't become vengeful, so you don't become the darkness, that you stay in the light. And I'm going to stay in the light, and I'm encouraging you to continue staying in the light. That's one of the most important things. I've had a lot of people reaching out for different things, right? Jobs are starting to become less and less comfortable. Relationships are falling apart, falling away. And even just trying to find our truth within ourselves. Make sure that you continue to send the people in your life, which are really teachers. These are instructors. These are incredible people at the soul level. Continue to send them love. Continue to forgive them. Forgive yourself when you don't get it right, when you act harshly, when you give an eye for an eye, when you repay evil for evil. Own it. Forgive yourself, but continue raising your standard to do better, to be an example of the greatness that is inside of you, the light inside of you, the love that is inside of you, the peace and the joy and the bliss. And know that you are not alone. You may be in a season of separation, but you are not alone. When you feel alone, that is when there is a huge opportunity for you to call upon God, Great Spirit, to show you the fullness of love, of the love available to you. It works for me every time. Anytime I get down on myself, I say, all right, God, please today, show me the fullness of your love. Show me the fullness of your love today. And without fail. It could come in a compliment. It could come in some kind of a blessing. It could come in some kind of act of kindness, right? Unexpected, but it always shows up. It never ceases to fail. So if you're down on yourself, if you're questioning the direction, you're questioning everything that's going on around you, stay tough. Be resilient. Keep getting back up if you're getting knocked down. Dust off and keep going. I love you guys. I have the utmost gratitude for your presence here on this message. If you made it this far, it means the world to me. Comment down below if any part of this message is resonating with you. Share the message, subscribe to the channel. And I'm going to keep getting on here. One way or another, whether it's joyriding into Colorado, or nature hiking, or just being out in nature, or being on the live streams, I will continue to hold myself accountable, to improve myself 1% better every single day. And I hope that this message inspires you to do the same. But it starts with an attitude of gratitude every single day. Grateful. I'm grateful for life. I'm grateful to be awake. I'm grateful for the freedom that I have to be right here, right now with you. I'll see you on the next one. You know the drill. Results kill excuses, because if it was easy, it won't be worth it. Greg's out.